Hey Kelly, as you may know, we're going on a 400-mile hike soon.
And as any of you that will know who have been backpacking, food is a major consideration when you're on the road. There's a lot of things to think about. You need to think about the weight. You need to think about what nutritional value that food is providing you. How many days you can carry it for. Now, different people have different ways of managing that. We're going to show you how, after 10 years, we manage it.
Yep, let's have a look, shall we? So typically, we will only carry 3 days worth of food.
I mean, sometimes we can push it to 4, but it's really about the weight and the size of the bags that we carry.
Yeah.
We don't want to be bogged down with loads of food.
No, and we've only got 50-litre bags, so, you know, I'll leave a link in the description for the bags and what we use all the time, don't we?
Yeah.
Sky speakers, remember those things? Now at a push, because of the size of our bags, we can eco that out for around 4 or 5 days, maybe longer, just because there might be inclement weather coming in, you know.
The deal is with that though, is we do prepare ourselves to lose weight, because it's literally, we ration it.
Yeah.
If a situation happens and we can't get to a shop, it's just on ration, so we'll just eco it out for as long as we possibly can. And yeah, sometimes we lose weight.
Yeah. but not too much though, do we?
No. And you know what? It don't take long for us to put it back on again. We're very efficient.
Yeah.
So what do we typically buy to pack for our 3 days? We're looking for non-perishables and bulk mainly. Yes. So things like pasta, noodles, even packets of instant mash. And I guess the way we work it is we wouldn't always buy the same thing each time we visit the shop, because you're going to get really bored of eating the same thing all the time.
I do.
So sometimes we'll get noodles and smash, or sometimes we'll get pasta and smash, or sometimes noodles and pasta, mixing it up.
Yeah.
It's not that huge of a variety, but it's enough to break it up a little bit. Another thing that we need to think about is our protein. So in warmer months, protein, in fact even in the winter months, we tend to stick to it just because it's an easy solution.
Yeah.
Chorizo sausage. Now when you buy a whole chorizo sausage, despite the fact that they're really quite expensive nowadays compared to what they used to be, but a whole chorizo sausage, because it's a cured meat and dry, for example, first of all, it will last a lot longer, even in warmer weather, and it doesn't really need refrigeration.
No.
But the other thing is you can, so long as when you're on I find that for us, so long as we have even just a little bit of meat in our food, it's enough to give us that boost of energy, even if it's maybe a little bit psychological, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, with nice meat, you go, oh, that tastes so good. It just makes you feel better, doesn't it? Even if it is that tiny little bit. And
sometimes it's just that boost of morale that you really need, because, you know, you're worn out, you're hungry,
And living this way as we do, it can get very testing with each other sometimes, especially roadside. You can't hear each other, things like that.
Yeah, we can bicker a bit, but I'm sure you'll get to see some of that. We've decided that we'll include some of our bickers just so you can see how we deal with it, I guess, and resolve situations.
And how we are still only human.
Yeah, everyone's human.
But living together 24/7, it can get testing, can't it? But it's fun.
But again, another reason for the chorizo sausage is that you can eco it out quite well. So for example, because we only necessarily need a little bit in each meal, I can get a whole chorizo sausage to last anything up to, well, from 3 days to 5 days, really, can't I?
So, we have done in the past, Yeah,
it's a handy thing to have in the kit. And also, a chorizo sausage doesn't really weigh much.
Well, you learnt that from out in Spain as well, didn't you? Because meat sweats and it goes off really quickly in the hot weather. And
the Spanish don't tend to refrigerate. I mean, you see them hanging in their shops or hanging in their kitchens. They don't really tend to refrigerate them. And when I came back to the UK, it just dawned on me, why bother with, I mean, I was already quite a big fan of chorizo out there anyway, so I was eating a lot of it. It was a good tip. But so a chorizo sausage can go far, and of course it gives you that little bit of protein and morale boost, and it also has a lot of flavour, so it adds a lot of flavour to a meal. For the record then, the two main things that we're considering when we're purchasing our food produce for 3 days is how to bulk our meals and how to put a little protein in it if we can't find any protein along the way. I mean, sometimes we'll come across a little bit of roadkill and we can put that in for a meal, but it's a good backup in case we haven't found anything en route.
Tara does all of the edible side of things, and I myself do all the medicinal side of things. So I try and look up all the different plants that can supplement all those different plants that can supplement shop bought food, just so we know that we're getting the right sort of nutrients, or being able to, instead of buying milk, for instance, we'll get plantain, because plantain, greater plantain at least, has a lot more calcium in it, natural calcium, than you would from a shop buying a glass of milk and things like that.
Now, as you'll see from the clip we're showing you and demonstrating, we will just pick produce throughout our walk through the day to add to our meal later on. And sometimes we really mix it up. We're not too bothered about flavour. What we were interested in is getting the nutrition from it. Now, like some people that are just going on a week's backpacking trip, you're not necessarily going to be overly concerned about what nutritional value, you know, a lot of people would just slog it out.
They'll go for the 3 or 4 days and then they'll worry when they get home, don't they?
Yeah, they'll worry about, you know, replacing their nutritional content, I guess, once they return home, right? But because this is the way we live, it's really important for us that, first of all, we don't bog our weights in our bag down with adding nutritional value in our shop bought stuff. So it's easier for us to do that on the move. And as you'll see, it's quite easily done. And if you're not fussy about the flavour, you're just picking loads of different things to chuck in. That again is another good reason for getting something with a nice strong flavour, like a chorizo sausage, to add to it.
Yeah.
Another thing that we'll typically always carry is chilli powder and garlic, or curry powder.
Yeah,
even.
or your special ingredient.
Or my special ingredient.
Yeah.
Pepper.
No, she can't remember it.
What?
Not even I know what it's called. The red stuff.
The red stuff. Oh, me paprika.
Yes, the paprika. Tara will use that too.
Smoked paprika, yeah. But that's normally if we haven't got any chorizo, because the chorizo gives a good smoked paprika flavour.
Yeah.
And again, you know, if you've got a few things that have got strong flavours in your kit, then it does help when you're eating the wild edibles. Because
the astringent taste, I mean, some things you need antioxidants, don't you? And some of those antioxidizing sort of plants will have almost a bitter astringent taste to it, but it's because it's good. And the muscles, especially calves, legs, anything like that, when you are walking, you start to get those cramps and it'll cramp up. What antioxidants do is they help repair and replenish your muscle, and help towards stopping those cramps, because you know you get nitrogen build up within the muscle as well, so it's good to get that everything out, repair a lot faster, ready for the next day, don't you?
Yeah, also there is something about the astringent taste to some of these wild edibles. Back in the day, throughout history, it was known that people would use astringent foods to clean their liver, particularly once they'd got through winter and they'd been eating a lot of preserved foods. Yeah,
fatty stuff and stuff, things like that, isn't it?
Fats and preserved foods and things like that. Lots of fats and sugars were going on.
Yeah.
So I guess once spring started coming in and they were picking their wild salads, if you like, a lot of those wild salady foods have quite an astringent flavour to them, if you like. They're quite bitter, and of course that bitterness is what they called cleansing the body, or especially the liver, I guess. Yeah. After a winter season, so
you know, liver tonics and things like that really help to just kick out all the scuzz, and help your gallbladder to actually process rather than keep the build up of bits and bobs in there.
There is actually something to be said about the pampered palate of today, because. Yeah. When I first started eating wild edibles, I really noticed that astringency quite a lot. And I think that now 10 years in, we don't notice it so much. We're not trying to find ways of trying to disguise it or hide it. We kind of embrace it.
Almost enjoy it sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel, because you go, oh, that's bloody horrible. But you know it's doing good. You know, like,
Dandelion with lemon.
yeah.
I mean, you'd think you got two bitter things there. It shouldn't work, but my God, it works wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, with the lemon and dandelion, for instance, I always add a little bit of salt because you've got those stronger flavours to try and get rid of or dampen down that astringency.
Yeah.
It's not like the old cough medicine. You but again,
I used to like the old cough medicine,
each to their own.
especially Galloway's.
But that's the thing, isn't it? With that, you know it was good because it tasted like crap.
Yes, yeah. And I think a lot of our medicinals that we take, I mean, Model's really impressed with me. He made me a concoction once of some medicinals, and just the smell of it was quite bad, but we knew it was going to work, and it made me a solution in a cup, probably about yay much. And
it was a bit more than that.
And he said, well, you don't have to drink it all at once, but try and see if you can get through it. Before he'd even finished his sentence, I downed it and put the cup down. I was a little bit... But my answer to these things is just hold your nose, think of England if you like, and get it in your neck. Yeah. I was right as rain the next day.
You were.
It worked perfectly.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot to be said for biting the bullet.
What about this one? A lot of you guys keep asking, you know, what does dog eat? You know, bits and bobs like that. He eats the same food other dogs eat. When we're on the road, he will have shop bought chicken or any sorts of meats there, but he has to eat them before going on the move. As you'll see from some of our other videos, he has his own backpack, he carries his own bed, his own bedding, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. And he's always got a supply of dry food on him. And that gets replenished as and when he eats, as and when he consumes it, as to not overcarry or do his back in or anything like that. But he will eat the same as us. He'll eat sausages, and I know they're bad in salt. He'll eat chicken. He'll eat pork. And also supplement himself with roadkill as well, doesn't he?
I mean, with the chicken, before anyone comes in on that, he eats raw chicken.
Yes.
When we give him meat, he has it raw.
Yep.
We don't bother cooking it. Even sausages, he has those raw.
And I know there's some really nice pet lovers out there, you know, all the antibiotics and all this lot, but we eat it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to really jump on that one, my thinking on that is if you're putting it into your body and you ain't got a problem with it, why is it such a problem?
Or all your children's bodies.
We have different requirements and different needs, but let's look at our own diet. So
yeah. You know, we feed it to our kids and things like that. That's just the way society works. Dog food goes through much more rigorous testing than our own food does. So it's like, well. One of those things. But also when he's had high salt content, we're always, even now, we're next to a stream. He has constant access to water all the time, and even when we've run out of food, because we have to replenish at another town or village or anything like that, dog always has his food first.
Yeah, he'll eat first.
Yep, always. If you're a fan of the outdoors, seasoned and unseasoned, smash that subscribe button.
Like and share around.
It really helps us out. Let's get us to 20,000, eh? Yeah. Let's get back into it.
Another thing to note on that as well is he'll even be partial to some of the forageables that we're cooking.
Yeah, dogs are allowed to eat mushrooms and things like that.
Yeah, we've always checked that, you know, that it's not poisonous for him. But to be fair, I mean, he is quite smart, and
yes,
he knows when something's not right for him, he won't eat it.
You could give him a bar of chocolate and say, go on, eat it. He won't eat it.
He's not interested.
But because he's highly trained, because he is an auxiliary aid for me, some of you would have known already what my conditions are. I know a lot of you want us to do videos about him, but he's not the star of the show. He is an auxiliary aid for me. He will feature in some of our videos, as you've already seen, but it's our channel, not his.
I guess when he learns to talk, he can be part of the videos.
Yeah. We mic him up and things like that, and we get him to talk. But until then, sadly, sorry guys, but no.
So to wrap it up for you, dog will carry 3 to 4 days worth of biscuits, kibble at any time in his backpack.
Yep.
He carries his own bedding, and he will supplement his biscuits or kibble, whatever you want to call it, with either shop bought raw chicken, sausages, or roadside that he finds.
Yep.
And put it this way, if he finds a roadside, he has to eat it in situ because we're not carrying it.
Oh,
Just
we had
chicken.
that before, didn't we? We had it before, and he was like, oh, he's found a rabbit on the side of the road, and it was a pinch point.
A country road as well.
If you might know it, it's up in Salisbury, and it's called Peter's Finger, and the road goes round underneath the train bridge and through, and there's some temporary traffic lights down to there's like a plank walk on a nature reserve. Yeah. He had to stop on that bend to eat that rabbit,
we
and
were
we're
stuck
like
in someone's driveway.
yeah, just down before that boardwalk. We were sat there whilst the traffic was going along, and he's eating this blimmin' rabbit, but he eats what he wants to eat. Sometimes he eats what he doesn't want to eat because we say you got to eat it.
And he has been known to catch his own squirrel.
Yeah, the odd squirrel here and there, and I don't think he's really caught any rabbit.
No, he's not fast enough for the rabbits.
No.
The squirrels, he catches them out, don't he?
Yeah. So you might be wondering how we package our stuff. We're firm believers of if you brought it in, take it home. We can't take it home because we're at home. Food bags.
Yes. Now the process we use for this is that when we get into a shop and we've bought the food, the minute we get outside the shop, most shops have bins outside. So before we even put that food into our bags, we take it out of its original packaging, whatever we can, and we put in a food bag, and we put the original packaging in a bin.
They've always got bins outside the shops. There should be no excuse for it.
Yeah, and what this is helping us with is not just helping us with reducing the size of the stuff that we've bought to put into the bags, but the best bit about it is, of course, when you're using that food out of the food bags, that food bag can be rolled up into a tiny little ball, and it's so much smaller as far as waste is concerned compared to taking out boxes, trays,
cellophane trays,
cellophane wrappers, and you know, when you think about the bulk of all of that you now got to take back out with you as rubbish, it's so much easier just to take a little food bag with loads of other little food bags that are empty in it. And once you've emptied out a food bag, of course, now you've got yourself a little rubbish bag for anything else.
There's some weird comments we keep having. So how do you go for a poop and things like that? You've got a food bag to put your rubbish into.
Yes, so if you are using wipes, I mean, we don't tend to use tissue.
No.
It's just, why would you carry tissue? It's only got one purpose, really, for us. Whereas wipes can clean our plates, clean our butts, clean our pits, clean our grits. You know, wipes are handy for all sorts of things. So we've always got a packet of wipes. And once used, no matter what it's used for, just like you pick up the dog poop in a bag and you put it in a bin, your waste goes in a bin, not a poop.
No, not a poop. Don't go pooping in bags.
Cat
It's
holes.
weird.
I know you're all asking. Cat holes.
Cat holes. You know, cat holes, and keep them away from water, keep them away from you.
Yeah, always poop and a good 3 foot away from your previous cat hole. And if you want to know where your cat hole is, put a stick in it.
Yeah, because you're not going to want to sit on a stick.
It's really not rocket science, and I don't know why we keep getting asked this question so much.
But it has been answered now. So
yes.
any more poop content, we're just, what we're going to do is go into YouTube and put the keyword in, and what it's going to do is it's just going to hold the comment. We're not answering your weird fantasies.
No, but just to clear another thing up, we don't always necessarily use wipes when we go to the toilet. If we have moss available, we'll use that first. That's always our first port of call because it's more economical.
Yeah, I mean, somebody asked.
Saves us money on wipes as well.
Yeah, somebody asked a comment. They said, what sort of moss do you use? Because they keep on getting rashes and stuff. Yeah. Well, moss is antimicrobial, antifungal. So I don't know what sort of moss you're using, but
we've used all types of moss.
Yeah.
And we've never found it to be a problem. In fact, in history, they used to wrap babies in dry moss to act as a sponge and keep them warm, keep the warmth in their waddles, if you like. Is that what they were called?
Yeah, waddles, I think so.
So, if it's good enough for baby's skin, I would say that maybe there's something else that is giving you that rash. Yeah. I don't think it's unless you're allergic to it. I don't know.
But also there are some females that are off-grid that will have to make an emergency lady stop.
Yes, and for that, it is quite simple, ladies. Get yourself a sock, find yourself some dry moss, pack your sock with dry moss and just pop it in your underwear until you can get to a shop and get what you need to fix yourself up.
Yeah.
But that moss, it doesn't just act as an absorbent, it also takes away any smell, so you won't have any odour from that either.
No.
And in times of need, if you're completely brassic, I mean, I've used moss throughout the whole of my cycle.
Yep. Why not? And you can either dig a hole to expose of it correctly, you know, bit like composting toilets and things like that, or you can, if you really want to, bung it in a bag and put it in the bin. But each to their own, right?
Yeah. One thing that we haven't mentioned yet is cost, money.
Yes.
The wedge. So the reason why we keep our shop ball to an absolute financial minimum is because we're quite happy to eco our way through and supplement with the forageables and have what we would call small meals, because if you've been watching, you'll know Mod and I, we really do like to bulk up.
Yes.
But we will supplement and eco out when we're on the big wanders like this, just so that we can afford to, when we do find a village or a little town, which are really the only places we like to hang out in, if I'm honest, we can afford to get something a little bit more substantial.
Pub grub.
Yeah, pub grub, or a nice greasy spoon cafe meal. Or sometimes you really crave that heavy meal feel, you know, like when you've eaten and you just want a food coma. Yeah,
I mean, we had an English breakfast in Wales one day. Don't recommend it. It was in where was it? Merthyr, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Don't. The Greasy Spoon Cafe there, just don't.
Well, it was like they'd cooked it the week previous, to be honest, and just reheated it.
Deep fat fried everything. Absolutely everything.
Egg, though, right. So yeah, sometimes you get unlucky, and we do find that this is a problem for us. Like, we'll save our good money for a
really crap meal sometimes.
Something that we think, Jesus, I could have done better with my pot and a few forageables.
The thing is, we had one at Christmas as well, because Tara wanted a nice meal for her Christmas present. I got me knife.
For my Christmas present, I didn't want to have to cook.
Yeah.
I thought for my Christmas present, I would just like to be cooked for.
Yeah, I mean, I got me knife as like a emergency medical thing, and it was only like 15, 20 quid, something like that. But Tara wanted your meal, didn't you?
And I didn't even want an expensive meal.
No.
I was just like, we'll just go to the nearest pub and
to where we were.
Yeah, put it this way. This is how I wanted to treat myself. I purchased like a £10 burger and chip meal.
Yeah.
But the way they described the burger in the menu was not what I got served. It was the most disappointing. I'm not even...
The manager was good, but he...
but for some reason, the punters had a real problem with the fact that we weren't prepared to pay or eat for a meal that was so inadequate.
Tara could do better in a hobo stove.
Oh, and I told
them that. Yeah. She told them that. But yeah,
I said, I live outdoors, this is my Christmas present. If I can do better on a hobo stove, I suggest that your chef has probably given up on life.
lost the love for it.
Yeah.
And as most people will know, you know, when you love to cook, when you love to make meals,
you taste that. You taste the love in the chef's meal. You know?
And even the presentation of it.
When they bring it out and it looks like they've literally frisbeed it together from that back end of the kitchen. I'm not prepared to pay even a £5 for that, let alone a tenner.
No.
But anyway, another story.
But that is why we try and save as much as we can, or scrimp, as you might want to put it, but for those times, to try county food. There was someone that commented the other day, I think it might have been Kaz, you know, there's many different sausages by county to county, for instance.
Even just food in general. Most counties have food that is significant to that county, food type.
Yeah.
Or a meal that they like preparing, like the Geordies, for example, love their, they call it, mince and tatties.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. You think Yorkshire, they love their Yorkshire puddings, the chip butties.
It's a little twist on a cottage pie, if you like, minced and tatty. It's like, it's just a deconstructed one. But
yeah, well,
it works lovely.
In Wales, they've got the, I can't remember what they're called, but they're like a Scotch egg looking thing, but it's got like mince and potato and I can't remember what they're called. Any Welsh guys out there, leave a comment.
Yeah. Oh, and in fact, the Welsh, they quite like their corned beef. So you get like corned beef.
That's it.
That's beef pasties and stuff. Is that what you're on about?
Yeah. It's like in a Scotch egg looking thing. But yeah, they do that. When we were in Scotland before, haggis.
Well, yeah, but isn't it surprising now? Why is it that the old food that used to be cheap, like that was considered peasants' food, like haggis, chorizo sausages, like cured meats, all those sorts of things now, they seem to be really expensive.
Yeah.
They're really outpriced.
But we found as well that being down south is much more expensive than being up north. Yes. For the same food.
Yes. So we could talk about the prices for foods all day long, but it really does fluctuate.
Yes.
Even in the same company of shop,
yep.
If you're down south, you're going to pay twice as much as you're going to pay, say, for example, in Wales.
Yep. Or Yorkshire or Birmingham. And as you go up, it just gets cheaper and cheaper.
The south is very expensive, and also when you start heading towards London, it gets pricey again, you know. But anywhere outside of the south and any London surrounding areas...
Well, those city areas, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, remember that time we were going through Meon Valley?
I was going to say, yeah, don't forget the little villages. I mean, some of these little villages, you'll get like one shop in the village, and my God, they know they're their only... They know that they're the only shop in the village.
Yep, they're going, oh, here comes the mortgage.
Oh, gee. I mean, where there was one little village we turned up, and I kid you not, we went into the shop, we were like, right, we can't afford anything in this shop. And I kid nothing, not even, to work it out, what we was going to have to purchase to make a meal, it weren't worth it. It was breaking the bank.
Don't get me wrong, though. I mean, if you've got the money, always shop local. You know, it does bring in that revenue for out of the way.
Yes, but some of these little village shops are really taking the mic with that.
Yeah.
But outside the shop, we found a burger van. And of course, because of the smells, we're like, well, we'll get a coffee. And we're sitting having a coffee, and then we're like...
£4.50 later for two coffees.
Should we see how much a burger is? Should we see how much... What was it? A bacon butty, I think it was.
Bacon butty, that was East Meon Valley.
I kid you not, £30 later, we had a bacon butty each and a coffee each. That was it.
Yeah.
£30.
Yeah. That's 3 days. That's 3 days worth of food. But if you... at £10 a day, but if you put that over because you're buying bulk and you're splitting it between the two of us, that's nearly a week's worth of food.
Yes.
Just for a bacon butty and a coffee.
It was a treat. It was a very expensive treat, considering that we'd already walked out the shop going, "No, I can't afford any of that."
Yeah.
And then we got sucked in by the smells. It happens to
Consumerism at its finest.
I'm not sure if you're having a hard time holding that up or if you're cold.
I got blimmin' armache. Oh look.
It's an earthquake.
Weird shit going on. But no, I mean, no, it's just I'm getting armache. This is the part where we want to say thank you to you guys. We'll leave them all over the screen. Really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. It's really nice to have the support.
Yeah.
And the messages you guys send, so heartwarming.
It's lovely. And just so you know, at the moment we're holding back a little bit on purchasing any beer because we're putting this towards our travel.
Yes.
Our travel fund. So thank you very much. You're going to help with the journey, at least as we go along, and
well, we can get the odd beer from time to time on our travels.
Right, we can have a beer on the road. Thanks to you.
Yeah. So the 3 things to take from this video today are weight, sustenance, and affordability. You know,
and your nutritional value.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Do have a look into those things.
Turn the camera around.
Yeah, I know. Them. You're not our only audience today. Well, they're all walking away now. Show's over.
No, they seem quite comfortable being here, even with the doggo.
Yeah. Hello, mate. You all right?
Oh, you're pretty.
Pretty.
You're real pretty. She's got great long eyelashes. Look at that.
Look at her eyelashes, Sheila. She's beautiful eyelashes.
She has got beautiful eyelashes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, pretty girl.
You can tell
The other
which
one's got
the
jealous.
male. Out of the three of them, you can tell which one's the male.
Yeah, I think he is, isn't he?
The one at the back, yeah.
Yeah.
Those two are female for sure.
Yeah.
Those beautiful eyelashes.
Pretty eyelashes. Pretty eyelashes. Hello, mate.
Look at him. I love our life.
Yeah.
They're adorable. Anyway.
Anyway, Callie.
Quick interruption just to let you know, as you'll see from this image,
Yes, we've got some reviews coming up, and there's 2 of them. So
there will be a giveaway, or there'll be 2 giveaways.
Yes.
And if you want to be in a chance to win, get your blurbs at the ready.
Yep.
Because it's the same. It's going to be the same as our last giveaway for the
Trustfire torch.
Trustfire torch.
Yep.
If you want a chance to win,
Yep. Because we don't want them. It's just too much weight.
as great as the pieces of kits, with all reviews, as great as the kit is, we've had 10 years to refine our lifestyle.
Yep.
So it would take something absolutely monumental for us to change that.
Indeed.
So the best thing we can do is give back to you, right?
Yeah, give back to you for subscribing and supporting us and just following our journey.
Yeah. We appreciate you, so why not give back?
Yes. Hope you've enjoyed, and until the next one.
Happy
Happy
hopping.
hopping.